Cassie, and welcome to this week's round 3 entry of CAGT, which I will be performing a cover of Test Me today, again using my looper. But the unique thing about this last entry is I will be showing you guys my process of looping before I do it, so you get to watch how it works and then watch the final end product right after. So let's start. So right now I'm recording with my phone and using my dad's phone to look up this video, but basically the first thing I do is I look up a instrumental version of the song. So I have this video of Test Me, and instrumental is basically like you can't hear any of the vocal tracks, so it's all just the backing music, kind of like a karaoke track you would call it. And I basically just listen to this by ear and kind of figure out what instruments are being used and what notes they're playing. I will admit I have prepared in advance. I've already listened to it and I know generally what I have to do. I didn't want to come on here totally cold turkey and be completely unprepared and then not finish this video in time, but I haven't done any of it yet, so you will get to see me actually do it for the first time. So I'm not gonna actually play this instrumental. It's probably gonna get me copyrighted or something if I do, so I'm just gonna explain to you what I hear and how I figure it out. So what I first figured out from listening to it is that this time signature is actually in 6/8 and not the common 4/4. So usually I don't do a lot of percussion in my covers. I'm not really a drummer or anything, but my looper machine does have like these pre-recorded drum tracks that I can choose from and change like the tempo and time signature and etc. So I found one in 6/8 and I just tap tempoed so it would be at the right tempo that I want it for the song, and chose a beat that I thought sounded similar to it, and we got this. And let me just pause that for a second. So at the same time as that coming in, right off the bat, you hear the little kind of vibes keyboard intro, and I looked through my keyboard sounds and tried to find something as similar as possible, and I got to the round glockenspiel, that's what it's called. So we get something like this. So then if we just click that, we get ha ha, woo! So once we kind of have that intro, what I have to think about is that I can't quickly transition from that to another live keyboard sound. It would be too quick, so I'm gonna record the next part through my looper, which would be just like the backing tracks for the verse, and since that stays consistent for a long time, it's good to put that on the looping track. Usually I would only do little sections live on the keyboard if it only happens once or twice for very special little intricate things. So for that first track, there is another one of those vibe sounding keyboard effects, but it's not the same as the first one. It's a little bit lighter. So I chose the Marimba Effect, which sounds like this. And I will give you a better view of what I'm doing on the keyboard as I record it on the looper. Now that I've recorded that, let's play it back in the looper and see if it's in time. I'm going to turn on the drum to see if it works together. So it's almost there, but it sounds a little bit wonky at the end. I don't think I stopped it at the exact right time, so we're going to try it again. So another thing that you may hear if you listen to the instrumental version is there's a lot of random little electric guitar notes with a lot of distortion on them. So I do have my electric guitar right here. Let me just turn the volume up. You're gonna hear a little bit of a buzz now from the amp. But I just put on some distortion from one of these pedal things I have back there. I don't know where my pick is, but here it is. But basically, while this track plays, I'm just gonna play those small little notes that come in there, so it just sound kind of like, hey God, I'll be the jester, entertain ya to the best of my ability. When I suffer or fragility, when I enter. So I think that works out pretty well. So the reason why I'm not looping that and I'm just playing it live over is because I need that distortion sound on the guitar and the guitar only, and if I try to apply it through my looper machine, it's going to apply the effect to all of the loop sounds, and that's going to sound kind of weird. So I just have to play those little parts live while the other tracks are playing, but it's no big deal. So for this next section, what I've seemed to notice in the changes of the instrumentation is there are a lot of almost empty sounding background noises that are pretty hard to replicate with just the few effects I have on this keyboard. So I'm gonna do my best. For backing tracks like these, you kind of want to use very open sounding effects like pads, synths, and vibes. So this here is called Soft Crystal, and it's just kind of like this eerie, so it kind of rings out for a while. That's something that I want for this, that kind of fades but still sustains the entire time, because you just want a little bit of like a noise, but it's very subtle and empty, and that's what this Cause I'm Mortal section kind of sounds like for the instrumentation. So we're gonna start off by just recording that little bit here. And none of you guys have been able to see my loop machine because it's foot controlled, but I'm just gonna show you what it looks like for this little part here. So there you have that little bit, and the next thing I'm gonna do for a little kind of empty background sound is the wind effect. So I'm just gonna turn the volume down really low so it's not too strong. So it should hopefully be very faint, but still add a little bit more of a depth and sound in it. So we're just gonna record that also. So let's play it back. So it's very faint, but it still gives a little bit more of something in there. So now that those two sections are recorded, the other two things I'm going to be doing live at the same time. So we're going to go back to that soft crystal sound because there's very little random things that Melanie puts in this part, and she goes all throughout that I'm Mortal section, and she also has some guitar. So let's see how this goes. We're going to be switching between them. I hope I don't break my guitar in the process by dropping it or something, but it should probably sound a little bit like this. I'm just going to start at the other track and then switch between them and just make sure that it sounds okay, swapping between them. So every which way and second there's a breakthrough like mortal. See, I feel like that. It just sounds to me like the second track needs a little bit more. It's not like a flawless transition. It sounds a little bit too different. This feels very upbeat, and then you just swap them, like, it's a little awkward. I should probably add a little bit more of a beat in there, even though in that track there isn't. Sometimes you just gotta make your own decisions to make sure your version sounds good. So I think I'm gonna add something. It's gonna be similar to what I did in the first track, but a little bit like softer and less notes being used. So let's just see what it sounds like if I just every which way and second there's a breakthrough like think that for the second verse, I might just keep both tracks on. They are similar enough that they won't like mess each other up, and it might just bring more depth because the second verse is significantly stronger than the first one. So instead of just doing like I'm not to be forgotten, I might be able to do both. I'm not to be forgotten. Drop your books when I walk in. I think it works. So right after that, we go back into the chorus of "Cause I'm Mortal," and she does a couple little variations with like the ahs and stuff. But from here on, it's basically just that until the ending. So I think once we're in the second verse, I'm gonna keep both tracks on for the second chorus, so it's still just as strong and kind of epic. And I'm gonna loop a higher harmony for those ahs. It's not gonna be used in the beginning of the song, only in the last two choruses when she makes that ah part higher to just give it a little bit more oomph. So I'm gonna do that right now using my last looping track available. So first I'm just gonna figure out the notes for the original, like the melody. So it's and so I'm just gonna go in thirds to make a harmony for that. Here, I will move the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing again. So the starting note here is a G, and we're gonna work in thirds, and this is gonna be a B flat instead of a B because we're in the key of, I think we're in C minor. Yes. Anyway, so if it's, we're gonna go, let's see. That's gonna be that upper harmony. So, all right, so let's actually record that part now. So it sounds a little bit loud. We're gonna have to lower the volume a little bit on that track to make sure it's balanced. I'm just gonna sing the melody over now just to make sure it sounds good. So. I love harmonies. I love when I actually do them correctly. I'm usually not very good at harmonies, so that's exciting for me. I'm actually going to record the melody as well so that I can say that little part in the outro that goes, give me an A+ if I'm doing this thing right. Because I want that part, those ahs, be playing in the background so I can still say that without occupying my voice for the melody at the time. So let's record that. Okay, I think that one should do. So at the very end of the song, there's that very recognizable like sound of a glass being shattered, and I looked through all these effects. There is not one that is exactly a glass being broken, unfortunately. But I'm going to use an effect called laser gun. It's as close as I can get. So hopefully that should work because I hate ending it with just like stopping the looper machine because it's very abrupt and sounds pretty weird, so I always have to do a little something on the keyboard. But I think now I basically have everything I need pre-recorded, and the next step is to just nail down those notes on the guitar and start recording. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching me through this loop process, and now I hope you'll enjoy the finished product even more. Here it is. Ha ha! Woo! When I enter And that concludes all of my CAGT entries. I hope all the viewers, all the judges, whoever may come across this video enjoyed them, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!